There are literally hundreds of YouTube tools on the market right now, and because I run over 30 YouTube channels and produce over 100 videos every single month, I've tested pretty much all of them. Now, most of them are a complete waste of time and money, but there is a handful of tools that I genuinely could not run my channels without. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact tools I use across every stage of my YouTube workflow, from coming up with viral video ideas to scripting, editing, and actually making money from your channel. And these are the same tools that all of the top YouTubers are using right now. The first tool I recommend is 1 of 10, specifically their free Chrome extension. Now, 1 of 10 is a tool that helps you identify outlier videos, and outliers are videos that have performed way better than the average video on that channel. If a video has massively outperformed everything else, there's a reason, and you probably want to figure out what that reason is so you can take inspiration from it for your own videos. Now, I don't actually use the paid tool itself because I find the outliers it finds are a bit random, but the free extension is incredible. All it does is show you a multiplier score on videos color-coded based on how big the outlier is. So a 10x outlier shows up bright red, and you can instantly spot which videos on any channel are crushing it compared to their average. When I'm doing YouTube research, I can go to any channel, immediately see what's working, and start pulling patterns from their best performing content. So it makes research so much faster, and research is one of the most important parts of running and growing a YouTube channel. Now, the second tool for ideation is one that I think is massively underrated, and that's Claude. Claude is an AI tool like ChatGPT, but it's significantly better when it comes to creativity and deep thinking. Anything related to coming up with ideas and writing. Even though Claude doesn't have direct access to YouTube to see what titles are performing well, it just inherently understands what makes a catchy clickable title. It gets the YouTube game. What I do is create a project in Claude. Claude has this feature where you can upload a bunch of context about yourself. So I upload information about my expertise, the types of videos that I make, who I'm trying to reach, my channel goals, and then Claude can act as this YouTube strategist that actually understands my specific situation. I'll then go into the project chat and just brainstorm back and forth, bouncing video ideas, getting feedback on what I like and don't like, and over time it learns my preferences and starts delivering better and better ideas. And even if it doesn't give me the exact title I'll use, it still sparks my creativity and gets me to something I will use. Now, moving on to script writing, I use a tool called Manus. Now, this is an AI tool that can be used for script writing like many others, but let me explain why this is different. You see, AI tools like Claude are really good when it comes to writing, but the problem is they're on monthly subscriptions, which means they have limits on how much they can process for you. If you could do infinite requests with tons of context, they'd literally lose money. So what happens is they cut corners and they can only handle so much context. And if your chat goes on too long or you feed them massive documents, they just start skimming the information and missing everything. Manus, however, completely ignores all of that because it's on a credit-based system. You pay based on how much you actually use it, which means it's not trying to hold back. If you feed it a ton of context, things like information about you, your writing style, transcripts of your videos so it knows how you speak, transcripts of YouTubers whose style you want to take inspiration from, long documents explaining your value so the scripts are actually valuable. It doesn't cut any corners, it doesn't hallucinate, and it doesn't skip important information. I personally use Manus to script my own videos. In fact, it helped me script the exact video you're watching right now. My process for creating scripts in Manus is super simple. I create a project in Manus, I feed it all my video transcripts, information about who I'm targeting, everything about my channel. Then I use a free transcription tool like Whisper or even just your computer's dictation feature to brain dump everything I want to say in a video. Just ramble for a few minutes about the content, completely unstructured. Feed that into Manus along with the video idea, maybe a transcript from a reference video I'm taking inspiration from, and it writes the script completely done for me. I've had scripts written in Manus where the first draft is basically what we run with, just minor adjustments from there. Now, obviously, you don't want to just take the AI output and then use that as the script directly without even reviewing it, but it does do an incredibly good job. Like, this isn't one of those AI tools where you're sacrificing quality for speed. Manus actually lets you make a better video than you could ever do on your own and do it way faster. Now, let's move on to actually recording your videos. When you're recording, you often have a camera and a proper mic, but your mic is usually connected to your computer, especially if it's an XLR mic like mine. And if you want to to record your screen at any point, you also need a software that can capture both your screen and your mic audio. So what I use to do this, and what many recommend, is OBS Studio. You can also use something like Loom if you want something simpler. But OBS lets me record my screen and mic audio to one file, while my camera records separately to an SD card. Then after recording, I have two files, camera footage with camera audio and screen recording with good mic audio. And in editing, I sync them up and delete the camera audio. So now I have great audio with my camera footage, plus the screen recording ready to cut whenever I'm walking through something on screen. Now, like I said, I personally recommend OBS because it allows for way more customization than Loom, but Loom is a great alternative if you just want something simpler. Now, if you're creating faceless videos or you need voiceovers, Elevenlabs is incredible. They've basically perfected AI voice cloning. You upload around 30 minutes of audio of yourself talking, and it creates an AI version of your voice that sounds exactly like you. Not just your voice, but how you pause, how you emphasize words, even those little quirks in how you talk. People are also using it to create entire video courses, automate customer calls, make audiobooks, all without recording anything themselves. Not gonna lie, it's kind of unsettling how good it is. Moving on to editing, I have a few recommendations depending on what you need. First is Descript for text-based editing. Descript lets you edit your videos by editing the transcript, so you can quickly identify mistakes, gaps, repetitions, just highlight them and then delete them, and it cuts the video accordingly. I found this workflow of cutting videos via transcript is way faster than manually cutting in a timeline. It's a complete no-brainer. Now, if you need more advanced editing capabilities, Davinci Resolve is the video editor I recommend. It's by far the best free alternative to Premiere Pro, and it actually beats Premiere in some areas. More and more people are using it, so there's tons of tutorials online for it now, when a couple years back there wasn't as many. Now, Premiere Pro is of course amazing. It's what we use internally for all the videos that we produce. But Davinci Resolve is free, and it's incredibly powerful, so it's hard to not recommend that one. Now, a part of every YouTube video that's extremely important is the audio. They say audio makes up 50% of the video actually. This is why we use Adobe Podcast for almost every video we produce to enhance the audio and make it studio quality. Even when using a good mic, we run the audio through Adobe Podcast to make it that little bit better. You can adjust exactly how much you want to remove background noise, enhance the audio, and get the right balance. If anything goes wrong in your recording, or you're just vlogging and it's a bit windy outside, this just makes for a way better viewing experience. And better viewing experience for your video means better video performance and growth for your channel. And if you're working with an editor yourself instead of editing your own videos, Frame.io is amazing for giving feedback. You can leave timestamped comments at any point in the video, and you can even draw on the frame you're giving feedback on, so you can circle things, point out errors, and bring your ideas to life visually. It's by far the best software out there for communicating with editors. Now, one of the most important parts of your YouTube video is your thumbnail, and Photoshop is hands down what I recommend for this. It's the industry standard for a reason. But if you want a free alternative, check out Affinity. It was just acquired by Canva, and it's actually a legitimate Photoshop competitor. But it's free. A big edge that Photoshop has right now, though, is that most thumbnail tutorials are made in Photoshop. So if you're trying to learn, you'll find more resources there. But Affinity is definitely a solid alternative. And one more tool that's a bit of a hidden gem for thumbnails is Remini. It's actually an app on your phone, and it's an AI tool that upscales faces and makes them higher resolution. If you've ever taken a screenshot or used a photo where your face isn't super crisp, Remini sharpens it up and makes the quality look way better. It might seem like a small thing, but this can actually make a massive difference to how effective your thumbnails are, as they're all about visual clarity and standing out in the feed against all of the other thumbnails. Now, I want to talk about an all-round great investment for anyone who wants to leverage AI to speed up their YouTube workflow and help them grow their channel faster. And this is Google's AI Studio. There's so much functionality packed into this one platform. For general guidance on how to make good YouTube videos, you've got the all-new powerful Gemini 3. Chatting, bouncing ideas, getting help with anything YouTube related. Questions about how to make your videos better, how to set up your equipment, what to do in a certain situation. Gemini can research the internet for you and act as your assistant. As of the time recording this, it's by far the best AI model out there for this. For thumbnails, you've got Nano Banana Pro. Nano Banana released a few months back as Google's image model, but it's just had a massive update which is 10 times better than the previous version. And it's at a stage where it's actually getting pretty impressive and useful if you prompt it correctly. Most people try these AI image tools and completely fail because they don't prompt them right. But if you know what you're doing, you can get legitimately good thumbnails out of it, and it's only going to keep getting better. For video generation, you've got Video 3. You can create B-roll, clips to hook the viewer in, and all kinds of different content. And Google even has text-to-speech built in, similar to Elevenlabs, so if you need voiceovers, you can try that. All of this is in one platform. It's a great place to start if you want to experiment with AI for your YouTube workflow. Now let's talk about how to actually monetize your channel, because all of these tools I've mentioned help you make great videos and grow, but how do you turn that into money? First up is Skool, which is a platform where you can create free or paid communities. First of all, when people join, they give you their name, email, and any other information you want them to answer, and in the process, you build an email list which you have forever. You can host live calls, put your course materials in there, answer questions from your community members, and much more. The power of this is it lets you take your YouTube audience off platform and build a deeper connection with them, plus actually sell them something. You can either sell directly into a paid community or have a free community where you provide a ton of value and then sell them something more expensive on the back end, like a high ticket service, for example. However you want to structure it, Skool is a complete no-brainer for capturing your audience from YouTube, so you're not completely reliant on the platform. Now, as your channel grows and you start getting more and more traffic, you're going to want a proper funnel to convert YouTube views into paying customers. If you don't know what a funnel is, it's basically a system to convert traffic at the top all the way to paying customers and everything else in between. Booked calls, opt-ins, etc. For building the actual funnel, landing pages, sale pages, etc., I recommend Perspective, Clickfunnels, or Framer. They all have their pros and cons, different price points, different levels of customization, but you can't go wrong with any of them. So just check them all out and pick which one you like most. If you're getting a lot of traffic and selling something limited, like one-on-one coaching or consulting, you might want an application form to qualify people. Typeform is great for this. You can add logic, so if someone doesn't meet your criteria, like they're below a certain income level, they get filtered out automatically. For scheduling calls to take sales conversations, Calendly makes this super easy. And for processing payments, Stripe is what we use at the moment, but plenty of people also use WAP. Now, something that's extremely important and that a lot of channels completely ignore is proper data tracking. Ultimately, if you're serious about growing your channel, you're going to need to look at the data, because the data provides a feedback loop so that you can see what's working, what's not working, do less of that, do more of that, and that's how you grow your channel exponentially. Now, you've already got a tool for this, which is YouTube Studio, and this is great for tracking views and channel analytics. But if you're growing your channel to make money or grow your business, you need to track the actual business results, because sometimes videos that go viral and get a ton of views aren't actually making you any money, while the videos that are getting the least views might actually be driving all of your sales. And if you didn't have that data, you would do more of what's not driving you money and less of what actually is. So you need to have that data. And what I use to get this is Hyros. Hyros is an attribution software that lets you track every single conversion event, link clicks, opt-ins, calls booked, deals closed, revenue generated, and it tracks it all the way back to which specific video it came from. It shows you the exact path someone took from the first video where they clicked a link to every other video they engaged with, all the way to when they actually purchased. This is incredibly useful because it lets you make decisions based on the actual data. You don't have to guess which videos are driving revenue. You can see the videos that didn't get many views but converted like crazy, videos that you might have otherwise ignored and thought were flops, and then you know to double down on them to make even more money with your channel. So those are the tools I personally use across my entire YouTube workflow, from coming up with ideas all the way to tracking revenue. And every single one of these tools has made a real significant difference for the channels that I run. The thing is, at the end of the day, you can have the best tools in the game, but if you don't know how to actually make videos that get views and grow your channel, you are screwed. You don't want to be the channel in your niche with all the gear and no idea. So click on this video here where I break down everything you need to know to create killer YouTube videos using the same process I've used to grow channels from zero to the biggest in their niche.